Novelty with S&B is a show about two sisters-in-law who share their love of books and tea.
Sometimes they read together, sometimes not. Sometimes horror, but mostly smut.
They review and recommend the books they've read and chat about other fun topics too.
Don't worry, they won't spoil anything, and if they do, they'll warn you.
Also be warned, this show is not for kids or for anyone who might be offended by horror or sex talk, or both.
Looking at you, Mom.
Oh, and welcome back to Novelty with S&B, the book club with a podcast. I'm your co-host, Beck.
And I'm Stephanie.
Can you believe it, Stephanie? It's our anniversary episode.
I know, it's insane.
I mean, the episode that we can actually talk about our anniversary. It was last time, but we can talk about it now.
It makes more sense to talk about it now.
Yeah.
But it feels like just yesterday we were clinking teacups and nervously fumbling through our first episode. I listened to it earlier and it was making me laugh so hard.
I'm glad I was laughing and not cringing because that's... Because I went back and listened to it too because I wanted to prepare for this, but oh my god, I'm like embarrassed about myself. Anybody listening, do not listen to the first episode, please.
It's funny. You could tell. It's so funny. And the audio is like terrible. It's so good.
We have come a long way, especially our awkward pauses to our less awkward pauses.
Yeah. But seriously, it's been an amazing journey. We've met so many wonderful listeners like you, and we dived into some incredible books together.
Absolutely. And to celebrate this episode, we thought we'd do something a little different today.
That's right. We'll be reminiscing about some of our favorite moments from the past year, sharing some listener love, and of course, our favorite segment, KU Cringe.
Oh
but
my
first,
God.
it's tea time. I know, I'm excited.
Tea
for KU Cringe
time!
too. So what do you have today?
So, in the spirit of my sister Melissa, I am drinking the novelty tea that she had sent my way remember my mystery?
Oh, yeah.
And the quote on this tea bag is, "I cannot live without books" by Thomas Jefferson. That's pretty cool. It's
that is
a black
cool.
tea, and so it's, just kind of mellow, but it's really good.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm drinking, what's it called? Tropical lemongrass.
Wow.
And it's lemongrass with peppermint, hibiscus, rose, hip, chamomile, and apple. It's actually different because I've never had lemongrass anything.
Do you like
but
it?
I like it. Yeah, I do. It's very like it does have an earthy taste, but not in a bad way. It's really good. It's good.
Have you ever had Starbucks green tea, the iced tea, not the hot tea?
No.
You should, because it's lemongrass and green tea, and I love it.
Ooh,
It's so
I'll
good.
I'll have to try that.
Yeah.
I'll have to try that. What, just
sweet.
green? What do I say? Just
You want
ice green tea?
Ice green tea, whatever size, no sweet.
Okay.
Because they're always
Cool.
like, do you want sweetener? No, I don't.
No. Just
It's
give it
like-
to me. Green tea is really good for you too. So
It is. Or
Yeah.
like when you're like ordering like a ridiculous coffee and they're like, oh, you want whole milk? Like, yeah, dude, I do want whole milk.
they don't do that here.
No?
No, that's
Oh.
a California thing.
Shoot.
Because you guys in your oat milk.
Oat.
You guys in oat. I've never even had oat milk yet. I haven't even tried it.
It's okay. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really understand the difference between milks in coffee anyway, because coffee has like such a strong taste, but
Yeah, for sure.
I want
yeah.
that like calcium to like not fuck with my stomach.
Right.
It's the whole reason I get whole milk.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, milk does kind of mess with me, but it's worth it. So
You just
I get my morning cleanse after my coffee. We're good.
What does Adrian call her little like medicine?
Oh, you mean what they taste like?
Yeah.
Vanilla farts. It's edible lactate because she can't swallow pills yet. So like me and Alexis will take the lactate pills,
Yeah.
and she can't swallow pills yet. So she doesn't even do them anymore. She would take one and say it tastes like vanilla farts, which is pretty fucking accurate because I tried one once and I'm like, wow, yeah.
You're right.
But what she'll do if like she's gonna eat something that has like a lot of dairy, she'll like smash it up and then eat it with like a spoon of peanut butter or a spoon of jelly or honey or whatever. She'll just take a spoonful. She'd rather have that. And
Like a dog.
have that little dude. Yeah. I tried to teach her to swallow, and she thinks she's gonna choke and gags, and it's
I
just,
get it. Yeah.
I did that till I was like 12, 13. I couldn't swallow a pill either, so
I
yeah,
still
but
like. I had
funny.
to have my mouth full of water, and I cannot feel the pill whatsoever. Otherwise, I'll spit it out.
Yeah, I can. I'm pretty. I'm okay with swallowing them now, but I can't do like my dad and Adam can dry swallow, and that disgusts me. That like
No, absolutely not.
no, that's not correct.
No. Put a little lubrication in there, please.
Yeah, a little something. Oh, so our bad KU.
Oh my god.
So can you tell me about
Mating the Mellows?
the Mellows? Yes, please. I want to hear about it.
Yeah, so it's almost exactly what you expected it will be. There's not like you read the synopsis and you're like, oh yeah, that's what happens. So we start off in an office where our female main character is denying peeps just left and right. Everybody's like, hey, you want a peep? And she's like, no, fuck you. I don't want a peep. So her coworkers are like, that's really weird. Just fucking eat the peep. Like, what? You're weird. Yeah. So it turns out she has like this weird, like traumatic experience with peeps, which is so crazy to have in a 21-page like book. What? I have to have this entire traumatic backstory.
Trauma,
which is like 4 pages long. Great, I'm 25% into this book. Cool. So anyway, she decides on her way home from said place of work that she's gonna pick up a few boxes of peep, just to get over her trauma, I guess. And she remembers back from her childhood that peeps are better when you microwave them.
Hey, by the way, I tried that. It sucks.
Okay.
Today. And I want you to imagine a microwave peep. We're gonna sidebar here. What do you think a microwave peep is gonna taste like?
I don't know.
It's just a mess. It's
Goo?
a peep that's a mess.
Yeah, goo.
So she led me astray. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, that's coming.
Oh.
So she pops them in a microwave, and well, boom, they come to life, and they're these sticky, gooey bunny men. Like they have the face of the bunny peep, but the body of a man, but also the skin of the peeps. So it's like that sticky sugar bullshit, which.
So it's like gross.
So short story short, she's dicked down by these 2 boys, and I'm pretty sure she's just gonna have a raging yeast infection because the marshmallow fluff semen.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's where the fluff comes in, is that's what their semen is. And I'm really glad I read it.
So good. Oh my god. Well, it was very festive.
It was. And then
on Easter, didn't you?
I did.
I remember you like texting me you were gonna read it. It was on Easter. I'm like, oh,
nice
little romance for Easter.
And then I went to the chiropractor yesterday, and he had peep art out. So I'm just dying because I just look at it and I can't help but do that shitty grin. It's like, what's that about? I'm like, well. I read a book about some peeps, and he's like, oh, like an informative book? I'm like, yeah, I learned some things about myself and authors that I cannot unlearn.
Oh my god. And you said his wife reads. I hope he went home and was like, oh, one of my clients read
she was reading this book about peeps. No, she's on the download because she was reading Haunting Adeline. So
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's like, she was talking about the scene with a gun. I'm like, oh, you mean Haunting Adeline? He's like, oh, you've read it? I'm like,
yeah, sure have.
Does she like it?
That comes up later in the segment.
It does.
Oh gosh.
The next one we both read.
Yeah.
So can you dive into it for me, and I'll just
absolutely
help you out.
Beck, you never cease to amaze me with the literary masterpieces that you find on none other than KU. While I've attempted to find tomes that will perhaps awe you in inspiring tales of grand proportions, I once again have fallen short. I have read Taken by Canada by Colt Alcove. It's an epic journey of a man and his need to connect with Canada and
Dying over here.
a quote to set the tone of this legendary, incredible adventure. I felt my loins become Florida, America's penis, as I pushed myself again and again into the yielding soil of Canada's love cave. I mean, am I right? No. So, I'll stop. I bet 4 pages of complete hilarity.
Oh my god, it was so good.
I remember when you gave me this assignment, I saw the cover and I was like,
That's papyrus.
I need to it was my favorite quote of the whole entire episode.
And then I got cut.
I know. But just read it. It's 4 pages. It's on KU. Like, please. It's just so funny. And I liked how some of the language is similar to books that are like the romantic jargon.
Yeah, the love cave.
Yeah, love cave, and he mentions the folds, and I'm like, it's so funny because those words are always ugh, and I just laugh. It takes me out of a story that's supposed to be taken seriously because there's so many books where they use that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Language, and you're like, what the fuck? So,
let me pause here. Yeah,
it was just really funny, and it's short and
informative, by the way. You learn so much about Canada.
Learn a lot about Canada in the process, for real. So I absolutely recommend it. So, what was your favorite part of this?
I really liked
masterpiece.
Wasn't it the wind that took his clothes off? I got surprised and naked because the wind took my clothes.
It's meant to be.
Yes. He just saw a hole in the ground and he decided that, you know what? I'm gonna put my dick in there.
I got an idea.
And then the ground, the sicky sap of the maple syrup.
Which I mean makes sense.
Give me a Brazilian one. I'm so glad I read it.
That's what I said, the sticky folds. I was like, oh, I can't. This is too funny. Please give it a read. And let us know if you read it, because it's 4 pages, guys. You gotta give it a go. You gotta give it a go. For real. For real. It is too funny. You're just gonna laugh the whole time till you're crying. And then after you're done, don't do it before. After you're done, read if you have Goodreads, read the ratings.
The comments. Oh yeah.
Oh god, they're funny.
They're so good. They're gold.
Oh my god. They really are.
That's what got me oh yeah, this is the book that I need to use.
Yeah, this is it. This is perfect. I know. You find the good ones. So I had to give you that epic intro. This is such anyways,
talking about which, I have another golden one for you.
Oh boy.
If you're ready.
All right, hold on. Let me get my phone. All right. Oh no.
It's called Forbidden Ride by R.K. Gallagher. Have you found it yet?
Okay.
Do you want me to send it to you in Messenger?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Where are you?
Oh, I'm so sorry. By who?
R.K. Gallagher.
Oh, I found it. Oh my god. No. No.
Winnie is an outcast among centaurs. In addition to being of mixed race, she has certain sexual appetites that are deemed aberrant and are conservative in their conservative society. For years, she's managed to indulge her desires in secret, but that all changes on her 21st birthday when her father arranges her to marry the star of her village's beloved polo team.
Oh my.
Imagine a polo team of centaurs. She tries to be open-minded. He is quite the hunk after all. The problem is he's literally hung like a horse and there's more than she can handle. She also happens to be a real horse's ass, and after a violent altercation, Wendy is forced to flee the village. While hiding in a nearby beach, she meets Skeemtar, a lonely horsehead. The two are opposites in every way, yet there's an undeniable spark. Will their strong sexual chemistry be enough to overcome their cultural and physical differences? Logistically, how will sex even work? The cover, for everybody's information, because this is not a video format, is a centaur woman with a man with a horse head.
It's so good. Oh my god.
It's 38 pages.
38
and
pages.
2 people are currently reading.
You're reading it, and it's Scimitar,
Yeah.
a lonely horse head. What?
You know.
You know.
You've heard of horse heads before, of course.
God.
Horse heads.
Oh, this one should be. Oh my god. This one should be fun. So, oh god. Okay. You have a choice. So I'm going to, don't look them up. I'm going to give you the titles.
Oh god. Okay.
And based on the titles, you'll have to pick one. Okay?
Okay.
So the first one is, I gotta try not to laugh.
I know it's so hard.
Okay, here we go. The Deviled Egg Made Me Do It. A sentient monster romance. Or Airpeen, a standalone sentient object fantasy. Pick one.
I'm gonna pick the second one, I guess, because
Airpeen?
I just read something about eggs.
So Airpeen, a standalone sentient object fantasy by Holly Wilde
It's an
with an E. It's Airpeen.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you see it?
Uh-huh. It's like a plane dick.
It's a dick plane.
Oh
Airpeen.
my god.
Sentient air. It's a place where wine is served at no extra cost, and so are the passengers. Work trips are stressful, and this last one was no exception. Thank goodness for the ability to upgrade to the exclusive section. Learn about where turbulence really comes from as you share the flight with Cushy, your very own sentient air chair. He can show you the ropes and help keep you entertained as you hang around. If you're really good, he may just invite some friends to join the party. Thank you for choosing Sentient Air. We hope you enjoy your flight.
Can I tell you what's really fucking me up about this one?
It's 33 pages. There's a typo in the fucking description.
There's no space between passengers and work trips.
Dude, there's
no
so
space
many.
between party and thing.
I like that. My favorite. Where's the part that I had to like read through? Oh my god. Oh no, I can't
Sentient
find
air.
it.
No pause.
No, that's it. Oh my god.
Want to
Yeah.
read?
So there you go.
5 people are currently reading this one.
See,
Oh,
it's popular.
people.
This is ridiculous.
Rickles also enjoyed mating with Mellows. Seduced
Go
by
to
the
the next-
swamp creature.
Click the next arrow.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so I'm redrawing or not our logo, but like trying to animate our video. And I had to put a little balloon animal on the fireplace.
I love it. It's so
I had
perfect.
to.
That's so perfect.
What's this Veiled Kingdom about though, man? That looks cool. Sidetrack.
Yeah, that is a nice cover. I'll give it that. Oh my god. So yeah. So
Tune in next
Airplane.
time for that. And
so
I
excited.
thought that my horse head was gonna be
You find like the best covers though. You always do. They're always so good.
I don't know where that one came from. But it was on my spreadsheet. So I have to
There you go.
cross that one out.
Oh my god, so good. So good.
Oh my god.
Oh. Yeah, I couldn't but choose between the two, and I'm like, I'll just let her pick.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
a good choice.
God.
I
Amazing
chose my
choices.
own demise.
Yeah, you sure did. Can't blame
Great.
anyone but yourself.
I mean, we'll get into that later too about
Yeah.
how Kindle Unlimited or Kindle Cringe came to be. So
Yeah. We will.
I would love to take the rest of the episode to go down memory lane. Is that that good with you? Since it's
Oh
our
yeah.
okay.
Absolutely. Super fun.
Okay. So our very first episode. Please don't listen to it, everybody. Just take what I'm about to say as
Trust us.
yes. I asked you what your top 5 books were. What are
Mhm.
they now? And then we'll figure out what they were then.
Okay, so the last episode I went back and listened to it,
Mm-hmm.
and I hadn't been reading very long, and I was gonna my favorite books I read within that year, and It's so funny. So here they are. So I said Haunting Adeline, which I wrote, oh my God, bless my heart. That is no longer
I know.
even close to like, I mean, I read a lot better books now. I had never like read dark romance. So I was like, ooh, and now it's like a struggle. It's like a
Oh,
struggle
yeah.
for me. This Thing Between Us, I was mentioned, and I also still love that book.
Mhm.
Yeah, awesome. Haunted, it's no longer like a top, but I still love that one a lot. By Chuck Palahniuk. And then I had mentioned the Devil's Night series, and then that was it. I didn't mention a fifth, and I think it was I was reading that series and it was long. It's
Yeah.
like over 1,000 pages. It's really, really long, and it's not in my top 5, not even close. But I will say, considering it's like 1,000+ pages, and I kept to it. It is entertaining, but it's like a guilty pleasure, right?
Yeah.
Like you want it, like you ever watch like a dumb show and you watch the next one and the next one. It's not, you're like, it's not that great, but it's like you want to know what happens. Like you're still interested. So that story was very like, I did like one of the characters' backstories, but there was only one book that I really enjoyed, and unfortunately, you would have to read the whole series to like even
Get to that.
remotely,
Yeah.
understand what was going on or the character's arc. Like I liked his story a lot, but yeah, definitely not a top contender anymore. My top 5, right, like off the top of my head, just of all time, for me is 1984 is number 1. I really just
Yeah.
that might as well be like a freaking nonfiction at this point. If you haven't read that, you should
Oh my
read
God,
it.
I know.
It's insane. This Thing Between Us, because it was so good, and The Hollow Places. Oh, T. Kingfisher. I love her. Serpent and the Wings of Night. That was my introduction to fantasy, and I will always love it because it brought me into that whole world and journey. And then I have a tie between Brother and The Troop. So I can't pick which one I really like better. They're both very good. They both are on my mind a lot, and I can't choose one. So those are tied for 5th for me. Yeah. So what about you?
Yeah, so last year I said Paladin's Grace, The Witch's Heart, Hollow Places, Slewfoot, and Lost Gods. So the only 2 that actually got kind of I won't say kicked out, because I still really do enjoy Paladin's Grace and The Witch's Heart. I think they're really good books, but as far as like, we have to like put them in a tier list, right?
Right.
Unfortunately. I mean, we don't have to, but
Yeah.
House of Leaves, still my all-time favorite book. I think it's just one of those that is just so unique, and like the story is so devastating that there's no way I can get around it.
Right.
American Gods, I read since then and now, has taken the 2nd place.
Wow.
Such a good book. Then The Hollow Places, still up there, which is good. Lost Gods, still up there. And then I also have a tie for 5th place. I guess we're terrible at choosing. But it's either This Thing Between Us or Starvacre.
Okay.
Which is interesting because I don't have any like fantasy up there, but I do really well. We'll get into that. That's the next question.
Yeah.
We discussed our favorite genres back then too.
Yeah.
What?
So
yeah.
No. What? Have yours like changed at all, or
no?
No,
I think I'm just stuck in my ways. It's like, it's fantasy, it's romantasy, it's cozy horror. Like, I'm very specific with my horror, as you can tell.
Yes.
But I think I have like completely stopped reading contemporary romances, because I think, again, those are just kind of one of those guilty pleasures like you were talking about earlier, where it's just like, you know what you're getting, and it's like not a unique story. It's not like,
they all start
it's
to
just
sound the
Hallmark.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at this point, I realize that I have like a limited amount of time to read books, and I want to make sure that the books that I'm reading are at least have the chance of being good.
Yeah, and we're on a pretty good streak right now as far as like enjoying what we're reading. At least I am. So it's nice. I was really into dark romance when we
Mhm.
started this whole thing. I had never um read dark romance prior, so I was like loving it, but it does become the same thing over and over to where like all the books were like combining, like I don't even know which one's
Yeah.
which. Like they just all start to be
Like, I
very
can't even
similar.
remember, like, first names, you know, at this point, character names. Yeah.
No, I can't either. And I will think of a book and be like, oh shit, was that this book or that book? Like I can't remember. So um I may sprinkle it in randomly. I'm not gonna like swear it off, but I have fallen in love with fantasy
I
romance especially.
know.
And I just love everything about it. And I do like my occasional splatterpunk and horror. I do.
Well,
And I don't know.
you gotta keep reading those for our
I
TikTok.
always have. Yeah, right? But fantasy has my heart right now. And it's so funny because I did not think I would enjoy it. And I absolutely love it. So
Mhm.
it's crazy. Because I honestly was like, oh, I'm not going to fairies. Like, because in
Come
my
on,
brain,
elves.
you know, yeah. And I'm like, And right now I'm reading these like, oh, this is not what I thought. Like,
Yeah.
at all. And I think if there's any listeners out there who don't, I mean, you probably like fantasy if you listen to us, but if you haven't gotten into it too much because you're worried about of what your brain thinks it is, like give it a try, because I thought that, like, I'm
Mhm.
thinking, oh, it's gonna be juvenile, or how can you I don't know, and or it's gonna be too
highbrow.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was worried about it being like above me too, like pretentious, like I'm not gonna even
Like
understand what the hell.
what is that? Priority of
'Cause
the orange
it's
tree or whatever?
oh god, that's what I've never even read that. I just bring it up because it's huge and intimidating, and
Mhm.
I read Kindle now. I'm not used to seeing big old books.
I
I'm reading
know.
ACOTAR, the series, and you can't, but it's on my Kindle, so I can't tell
Oh, I know.
how big, which helps me because if I had to look at that book, is daunting to look at. But no, like I thought like I wouldn't be able to understand. Like I was intimidated by fantasy as well. Like I'm not gonna
Mhm.
get it, and I'm gonna get halfway through this long ass book and be completely confused. And I haven't really had that yet. I've had some books where I'm like, I have to think for a minute, but nothing's really and I mean I haven't read anything like high fantasy advanced, but from what I've read so far though, I'm really enjoying it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So yeah. Um I do love it. So we've had a lot of book discussions on the podcast in the past year. So is there any that like stick out?
Yeah, so I think for me, it's your discussion with it wasn't Broken Bonds. You liked Broken Bonds, but I think it was like the third of that series, right? I don't even remember what the name of it was.
I don't remember
but
which one
I remember you getting
I'm so mad. I've never been that mad. I didn't know a book could piss me off the way that one did. Mm-mm.
I wish like we don't do like we call it face, but we don't do like face TikToks very often, but I really wish
No.
you were at that point because I would have loved to see your reaction.
I was fucking pissed. I've never been so mad. I'm still I don't even like to think about it. I start getting mad again.
I put so much time and effort into this. It's like it was like 1,000 pages at that point, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't even that it was like great. I was just like, oh, it's good enough, you know. And
right, I'm gonna read the next one because.
And I thought I was, and I literally got so mad. And then I always see it. I always see it on TikTok. I always see it on Facebook. Oh my god! And
I see
so
it on
like,
Kindle too.
Thinking about starting this series, and everyone's like talking about how great it is, and I'm like, you're gonna get disappointed. You're gonna read Force Bonds and get pissed off. I did.
You're gonna get
can't
to
be the only
25% of no.
Yep. No, yeah. No, that was funny. I got really mad.
I know. And I also got really mad with Awkward in October, which I think that's like my favorite TikToks. Least favorite book I have ever. And we read terrible books. Like, it's fun for us to read terrible books. I was so mad.
The fucking hamster.
I know. I remember it was in October and we were reading a lot of horror, and you're like, oh, you thought you would put in like a nice little palette cleanser in there.
Yeah. Fuck no.
A nice little cute fall tale.
And then our TikTok. Let's go back and
that
look.
Was my favorite thing.
That's the best TikTok I've ever made. Maybe the one I did today, but
Yeah, the one today's funny too. But that one was I watched it.
Dying.
I've probably watched it like 700 times. It just makes me
You're
laugh
the
every
one who gets
time.
all the views.
I'm all the views. It's me. I go back and watch it, just start laughing. It's so good. Oh my god. Oh.
I do think also when I was talking about Crack and Sacrifice, I think that was our first monster romance.
Yeah.
And I think that's what spawned our KU cringe segment.
I love it. I love it so much. What we used to call it? Didn't we call it something
Bad
else?
KU.
Bad KU. I like KU cringe is better.
I was thinking that like Kindle Unhinged would be a good name for it
That
too.
was a good one because it's KU.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. It's so funny. That's some of my we get into that too.
That also is like some of my favorite book discussions too. Is just
oh my god, I know, because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So for me, like as far as like discussions we've had, I really liked when you read This Thing Between Us. So I listened to what I had to say about it in our first episode today, actually, and I was like, oh my god, like it was kind of fun, like hearing my thoughts at the time, because I mean I remember the book, but I don't remember it, and, like,
right?
You know, not like I did when I was talking about it then, and that great amount of detail. And it was really, I remember I was so excited for you to read it, and then I get really nervous because you're a very like experienced reader, and I don't want to like. No, I don't want to be like, oh, read this, it's awesome, and change me.
Have you seen the books I've read?
Open my like it did something to me, to my life, like to my brain, and you'd read it and be like, oh yeah, that's cool. But no, not that, you're not like that. I don't know why. I get like nervous, like you're gonna be like, oh.
So I get nervous for you too, though. Like Akatar, I was so nervous. I'm like, oh no, she's gonna hate this.
No,
I ruined
like
you.
it. Yeah, I love it. It's good. But no. You ended up liking it a lot and rating it at 5 stars, and I was just so excited to hear like your thoughts. And I mean, it is a very moving piece, and a lot had happened from the time I read it to you read it to kind of make the story a little more personal, with things that have happened over the years. So that also was
well, even in the last like couple of weeks, it has festered again with like the experience of like losing a spouse, and oh my god,
it really when you've had loss, like when I hear about loss now, I do think of that book, and just what he went through. And I would like to read more books by the way, when we talk about This Thing Between Us, there is another book, and it's like some kind of
it's not the romance book.
No, okay, it's by Gus Moreno, and it has a cover with like these like black and white arch things, and then like a dog.
Oh no, not the dog.
I know, it's so sad, but I really enjoyed that, just hearing your experience and hearing how it moved you as well. And I like that. And then the Crowns of Nyaxia series, I have brought this series up how many times past year?
7 or 8.
I've read it probably more. And it started my fantasy journey, as if you've been listening, you know, you're probably like, oh my god, here she goes again. But it did. And you were so excited that I finally was like, I love fantasy, and you were like, oh my god, because you were just, I have so many things to tell you and show you. Yeah, so and ever since then I have been hooked. And it's funny because it started with like I would read like a fantasy, and then and slowly it is just like, even if you look at the books I've read through, like if you like listen throughout the episodes, you see that it goes from dark romance with like mostly dark romance, 1 fantasy, and then 2 fantasies, and then the fantasy slowly took over the dark romance, and now there's barely any dark romance. There will always be a little dabble of horror and splatterpunk in there, just because I do enjoy it. I don't know why, I'm weird, but
I like horror, but I don't like splatterpunk. But that is probably what's going to be a constant in this podcast, is a little bit of horror, maybe something a little gross, and then the rest is fantasy. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, and it's so good though. It's so
good.
Yeah. So that was.
What have your favorite moments of the podcast been so far, outside of book discussions?
Yeah. I mean, like I was saying earlier, KU Cringe is just so fun. It's like I look forward to that probably the most, just because we were thinking about doing the extra episode, because we were only doing like one a month, and we're like, oh, we should do something else. And we thought of this idea to do Thirsty, which I love. It's super fun.
It's so funny.
But it's nice to have a little bit, right? Like to have a thing that we do that people know.
To come to expect, yeah.
Right. And so you came up with it, and it's been so great. And I remember when we started it, I gave her like a long,
Oh, I know.
it's like 280 page, like corny, and you gave me like I think mine was like 100. And then we decided at one, like I forget, maybe 2 months into it, let's just pick really short ones.
You know
like,
what?
Let's not waste our time with this. So we went to the shorter books, and it's fun because it's just something you do. Like I'll be chilling and I'm like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna read my freaking KU Cringe. Like it's just so much fun.
I have 15 minutes.
Yeah, but yeah, seriously. So it's just super fun. And our
first ones, by the way, was Wolf Cursed, was the one that you gave me. It was a werewolf shifter.
Yeah.
I gave you Orc's Prey. A monster romance. Not to cut you off, but I had to look at it.
That. Oh my god. So good.
Anyway.
It's been so much fun. I know, I love it. And I also like our Read with SMB books that we review together. I always think that's fun because we could just both we typically are on the same page when it comes to that. So it's fun to kind of bitch or just be like, oh my god, and this and it's
you
just fun
believe it.
It's fun to be able to talk about that with you, that we read the same book, because we don't have the exact same style. Like she's not going to read Splatterpunk, so it's nice to hear about different books from each other, but then also have that one that we both read that we can talk about. I always think it's fun.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's so. I hate when I read it for you though, because I'm just sitting there
tapping.
Please.
Yeah,
oh, you're there? Okay. Hey, guess what? Fuck this guy.
I read slower than you too. I read really slow.
That's just because I read a lot of audiobooks.
I know. I need to start doing that, but I have yet to try.
I just got the Libby app. So cool. By the way,
I have that. That's to the library, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
And then
I don't have the app, but I have the thing. I have directions. I haven't used it yet. I need to get on there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's part of how I'm able to read so many audiobooks or listen to so many, because Libby sponsor
I need
us.
to get on
Just
that.
kidding.
Because I could. That would be nice. No, because I could listen to it while I do
chore
the household things. Yeah, while I do the domestic duties of the abode. So I'll have to try it. I'll have to get on that.
Yeah,
I will.
Eventually.
Like I always say.
The SpongeBob cutscene.
Yeah.
But yeah, KU Cringe is by far my favorite segment too. It's such a. I think it's the surprise that I get excited for.
Oh yeah, it is fun.
Oh, I
don't tell each other
this book. She's gonna love this.
I know. I'll be sitting there going through on the couch, just laughing at Adam's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm finding our next book," and then I have to read it. Oh, listen. I have to tell him what it's about, and he just does not understand.
It's such a tragedy that they just do not get how glorious and the pot of gold we have here.
It is so sad. They're lost. No, but yeah, it's.
I will say though, having some author interviews just blows my mind too. That the fact that we started a year ago and we've already had enough interaction with other people that we are able to interview authors. That's so cool.
Yes, it's so amazing. And when an author messages us, hey, can you check out this book? I'm like,
yes.
Or all the comments when we make the little aesthetic videos. I get excited for all the author interactions, and I'm like they're all indie authors, and that's even more cool. I'm glad
we're raising
to
each
support
other
them,
up.
and
yeah,
and it's also because your bigger authors, there's a very low chance I'll be able to have any one-on-one with them, and so it's cool that I can have conversations with these indie authors, and it's so cool.
Yes,
so, yeah, I agree for sure.
I love it. Okay, rapid fire book recommendations. What is a book that made you cry?
The Fabric of Our Souls.
I'm gonna say This Thing Between Us. A book with a twist that you didn't see coming.
Gone to See the Riverman.
American Gods.
Okay.
A classic you think everyone should read.
1984.
Okay, so I would also say that, but the one that I read most recently is Far from the Madding Crowd. A book set in a place you'd love to visit.
You go first.
I'm gonna say A Court of Mist and Fury because it's after the whole A Court of Thorns and Roses thing.
Yeah. I wrote, I have only read ACOTAR, and I am currently reading ACOMAF, but I want to visit all the dang courts.
I
Just
know,
say
dude.
Prythian. All of it. To Prythian. I don't care about Hybern and the Mortal. Prythian. Let me go to all of them. And up north is where, if I had to choose between north and south, I'd go up north.
Yeah.
Give me them nightmares. Give me Reese all day long. But I would like to see them all, because I love Sarah J. Maas she can put the place into my brain. I mean, I see
dude.
it. She is amazing at like world build. Like, I can see it. Oh my gosh, she's really good at that. Like, that's a talent she has. Because it's weird. It's like I'm reading it. It's like being built in my
You
brain,
can actually like
Oh, it's so freaking rad. I'm loving it.
You're in the summer court right now?
Oh, they left.
Oh,
they just left. The whole thing happened with the book. I don't want to say too much.
No, you're fine. But like it like I've never been to Greece, but I imagined it as like Greece.
Yeah, that's how I pictured it too. Like like when you see like Santorini and all the like white houses off on the cliff
beach.
sides.
Yeah.
Like I pictured I pictured it a lot like that too. It's just awesome. What she can, how she explains things. Yeah. And how I see it in my brain. Movie. Yeah. Yeah.
That was my film noise, by the way.
I know what it was. Yeah, I knew what you were doing.
I didn't know if it came across, but
I knew. Probably no one else did.
Probably not.
I knew what it was. You were doing that. I was hearing the actual sound in my brain.
Okay. So this is a question for our listeners. I've noticed, and I know you've noticed too, is that our wrapped episodes do so much better than this particular format. I love this format because I just get to goof and gaff with you. But
yeah, for sure.
Our wraps do so much better. So let us know in whatever way, comment, poll, DM us, whatever. If you'd rather us like to combine the show in some way, like a couple of book reviews and then like us goofing and gaffing, or not, I might put a poll up. But either way, which way do you guys like this?
Yeah. We would love some more interaction. So don't be shy. Like, please comment us, give us any ideas. We'd love to hear from you. We're open to anything.
Oh yeah.
So if there's anything you're like, oh, I really wish you guys would talk about blah, like, tell us, and we probably will. Like, we're open, and we'll get so excited to interact with anyone. So
yeah, dude, please.
We will probably do exactly what you. Can you please do this? Yes. Hi.
I will say that. Hi. Hello. Are we best friends now? I will say that sometimes I feel like disingenuous doing like book mail or like hauls or like bookshelf tours or anything like that, because it feels just like, I don't know, like a show. But if it's like something genuine, then I'm cool with it, you know?
Absolutely.
Also, I know I spoke with you about this a little bit and I kind of went off the rails for a little while. I have this idea for this thing called like maybe book scouts, novelties book scouts, where maybe we have like a live or a Discord or a Facebook group. I think a Facebook group is probably the way to go. Where we could like earn badges for like doing certain stuff. I don't know.
I think it sounds fun. I think it sounds really fun. Like, you know, like, she was explaining it kind of like how, like, you know, Girl Scouts get their little like badges for doing things, and it could be, it'll deal with, from what I've gathered so far, we're gonna talk a little bit more about it, but like wellness as well, like wellness, well-being, as well as reading, and kind of getting you to reach out of your genre, maybe try something new, and to also take care of yourself while
self-care
doing it.
yes, because sometimes the books that we read get a little heavy. People do need to take care of themselves, and I've gone to therapy. I've done therapy. I know like there's like a self-care wheel, so I thought it would be a cool thing to like base it off of that. Like you're doing your physical health self-care, your mental self-care, your community self-care. I thought that would be really cool to like have a little badge for each one. And then of course, like,
Absolutely.
did you meet your 2024 Goodreads?
Yeah,
There's a
yeah,
badge.
I think yeah. Or reading different genres and different things like that. I think that would
Yeah.
be a lot of fun. For
Yeah.
let us know if you guys would be interested, because we are down to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do like a little prize at the end of the year or something for somebody with the most, I don't know,
Badges.
badges, with the most badges. They get a badge for having the most badges. No, I don't know.
A badge for the most badges.
Yes, I did something. Okay, so
I touched grass.
yeah, I touched grass. No, we're joking, but self-care is very important.
Yes.
And so is reading. For us, reading is actually a form of my
Self-care. Yeah.
self-care. So it's always nice to combine two things you love and two things that are important. So yeah, let us know if that's something you'd be interested in.
Yeah, I think it would like foster a community too, you know.
Oh, for sure. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Well, folks, that's all the tea, KU cringe, and memories we have for you today.
If you loved our KU cringe and have a recommendation, feel free to comment below and maybe it will be featured on our next episode. We'd love to hear from you guys. So as always, I'm your co-host, Stephanie.
And I'm Bekk.
This has been Novelty with S&B. Thirsty. See you in the next chapter.